How much did you get recognised in Canada?
I'm crossing the street and I heard somebody just go, "No way, man!"
Talk about Adam's trip to Canada and shitting himself.
I did this food challenge, right, which was a big Canadian breakfast. That if you look at the CCTV footage from that restaurant, it must be hilarious because I'm just like kind of dancing on the spot at this like Finch from American Pie. Hi, I'm BeardMeatsFood.
And I'm Josh Gudgeon.
And welcome to the Breaking Bread podcast, where each episode we'll be having a good old-fashioned chinwag about some interesting topics, as well as being joined by a few special guests along the way. Pretty much like every other podcast.
Exactly. Mate, it's an absolute honour to be here. Well, let's kick off though. What do you think of the studio?
I mean, this is probably the most, but I feel like I'm being interrogated a little bit with a downlight, but this is one of the most professional setups I've ever, and I've been on TV a lot, you know?
Yeah, I mean, those that are listening, we've kind of got an SES Who Dares Wins vibe going on. We've got an overhead light. It is like an interrogation room. However, we've gone to max effort to make it look as professional as possible. We've got 3 camera setup, so if you are listening, I advise probably go look at the video version. But over Adam's right shoulder, sporting a beautiful 1 million subscriber plaque at the value of what, $500 for it?
They cost you the $500. You get when you hit 1 million, you get it free. Right. But if you want to order a copy, this one's a copy. You get you have to pay $500 for it. So what's that, like about 380 quid?
Yeah, by today's standards, it's probably like 500 now with economy.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, man, looks mint. It's nice to see it. What do you think to mine? I've had to, again, if you're listening, over my left shoulder, I've had to sport my own. Yeah, it's a little bit ghetto, isn't it? It's a bit
discount, yeah. I mean, I wish you got my reaction when I came in and saw these because they look cool. I mean, even that one looks cool in its own way.
Yeah, for those that are listening, I've got a piece of A4 paper marked on what looks like a YouTube play button, except it says, presented to Josh Gudgeon, 94,000 to go. That's to get the 100,000 subscriber plaque. Let's not even talk about the million one.
I said I could have brought my silver play button, which you get when you hit 100,000 subs, and you could have just kind of chipped off the part that says "BeardMeatsFood" and just biroed on Josh Gudgeon.
What an absolute beg that'd have been. That's poverty, that, isn't it? Imagine that's just like a sympathy vote.
Yeah, but yeah, that's has good comedic effect. I hope people are watching this. It'll be lost, in the airwaves. But if you see it, I'm quite surprised by how symmetrical it all looks.
Put a lot of effort in. We fitted these about 10 minutes before we started rolling, so I'm no one's more shocked than I am that we sat here doing this. But let's talk about the reason for actually starting this podcast. The way this came about, you've broached this with me a couple of times, so it's almost been like where 2 mates are in a pub and they go, you know what'd be a good idea? Let's open our own pub. That's kind of the vibe that I got. So Adam mentioned it, I dare say 3 or 4 times to me. And then it was, a couple of weeks ago, you said it again just before you went to Canada.
Yeah.
And I took you up. I was like, you know what? I'm at my wit's end. I need a bit of a creative outlet. I ain't uploaded on YouTube for a little while. Let's start a podcast. So I've turned my studio office area upside down, moved the lads out of what was our office and turned it into a studio. And now we're in the other room. But that's kind of the thing, innit? We, like 2 mates in a pub coming up with a bad idea.
Yeah. I mean, what could go wrong, right? But yeah, that was the idea. I love. I have another small. Not that I want to promote another podcast on this podcast, but I have another smaller kind of one that I do with a mate, just for a laugh. And I love talking. You know, a lot of time I'm at home just talking to Mrs. Beard, which is my partner. But yeah, it's nice.
I'm sure that everyone watching will know that's your partner.
Well, if you don't know, you could be just fresh to it. You'd be like, "Who's this guy?" So yeah, it's nice to just have a chat with somebody who also creates content.
And exclusive, Beard is actually retiring from YouTube to become a podcaster. So if you can just elaborate on your retirement from your main channel to become a podcaster.
Don't say that, man. People don't have a long attention span, right? So they'll hear that and they'll be like, and they'll go over and unsubscribe. I'm not actually retiring, but it's always nice to kind of make steps into. You want to have your finger in many pies, not just the one pie. So. Yes,
I'd say your pie's pretty good at the minute though. What, 1.5 million subscribers? How many views overall on the channel?
The only reason I know this is not because I'm an egotist. I have 359 million views-ish. But the only reason I know that is because I'm getting into an argument with Twitter all the time about them not verifying me.
Oh, we're going into that first. Well, I mean, that was at the bottom of our list, but I've actually got those in my notes. Twitter verification rant. So let's get into that. What's your beef with Twitter?
But I don't really have. I don't dislike it. In fact, I have to say this: Twitter is one of my favorite social media platforms purely because it's so short and concise, right? You're not going to you don't have to go into paragraphs. You're literally limited in terms of characters, right? So I think you can bounce off people and stuff, and it's a little bit more casual. But they're everything about their platform is so archaic. You know, like I've been verified on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram for years, right? And it's not like I don't need the prestige of the blue tick, right? It's purely the fact that it's open to abuse, right?
Yeah.
Like somebody could, not that I want to give anyone an idea, but if you come up with some banger tweet, you could start a Twitter account called BeardMeatsFood, I don't know, 2012 or something like that, and put up some tweet that everybody loves and pretend to be me because they don't know it's me. And I don't know why I've tried to get verified 5 times now.
Yeah, I think that's the one thing that like your general public wouldn't understand about the verification process. Like people think, oh, let's get verified. I'll get that blue tick as like a talking point. Like I've got a blue tick. It literally is for the safety of the creator because the impersonations and the fake competitions and the DMs and people abuse it. And we've seen it with our clients. We work with a bunch of different people. Our clients have had stuff where they've not been verified. And they've had people running competitions, like all sorts. There's mad stuff that goes on. So it needs to. You need to get it.
It's to me like the worst case scenario is somebody successfully impersonates you and says something which could end your career. Because we've talked about this before, especially if you're even to a small degree in the public eye, you're always one word away from your career being over. You know, if you say something which is really unacceptable socially, if that's not you saying that, if somebody impersonates you and says something really offensive, that could be your career done,
you're going to get cancelled fast, aren't you?
Yeah.
And they'll cancel you before they've even verified if it's, again, like...
Oh, yeah, people don't care about context. You could be completely innocent, but, you know.
Well, in the spirit of saying something that's completely wrong and getting you cancelled, at least you started a podcast with your mate. That's 2 podcasts now. So you've tripled your chances of getting cancelled now.
Yeah. I mean, whenever I'm on a podcast, it kind of turns into a confessional more than anything else. It's just me ranting on about stuff I don't like. So
it's like beards. We'll change after a few episodes to beards therapy sessions. And,
well, actually, it's funny you should say that because when you were suggesting names for the podcast, and I originally read it as Breaking Beard, and I thought like every episode was going to be some kind of physical or mental torture until eventually I was broken, and then now I realised it's breaking bread as in figuratively having a chat.
I think we made a wise choice there. We had to put a few names in the hat, but I'm glad we went with Breaking Bread. What was the other one?
On the topic of breaking bread, by the way, if you're going to have a podcast called Breaking Bread, people are going to expect bread. I thought it was going to be a little bit of focaccia,
Listen, man.
some olive oil, some balsamic vinegar for
if
dipping.
Anyone's bringing it,
there's no bread.
It's you, the food guy. I've literally got 3 cameras. There's lights everywhere. I even put your plaque on the wall 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, you're right. That was my response. I'll bring some food next week.
Right. So let's take it back. We need to have a bit of a quick bio because those that are just obviously diving in for the first time, they might want to know. They'll know who you are. Who am I? We met the first time in May 2018.
Is that how long ago it was?
Yeah, I had to do so. I did a bit of research last night. I'm like, how long has it been when we met? And
wow.
You were taking on a food challenge down at Gem Speed Shop. I don't know what challenge was it? The burger challenge.
Some kind of burger challenge thing.
I were creating content there at the time. The bearded dude walked in, said, "I'm a YouTuber." Because that's what you call yourself.
I definitely did not say that.
Yeah,
I never call myself a YouTuber, right? I'm saying that to the camera so people know. So how serious I'm being. I walked in and said, "Can I do your burger challenge?" I just happened to have a camera with me.
3 cameras, Mrs. Beard, and the rest is history, as they say. But yeah, at that time you had 200,000 subscribers, which blew my head off at the time. I'm like, 200? Who's got 200,000 subscribers? But yeah, 2018, man, we go way back.
Yeah, it feels like longer in many ways. But yeah, we've done a lot of stuff together now, haven't we? So, but yeah, I remember that well.
And since then, we did the Christmas video. So we're going to touch on that maybe in a future episode, but that's probably one of the most recent gigs that we've done together where people have acknowledged it and gone, oh yeah. And then we went to London together.
We did,
the pancake challenge.
Yeah, that was interesting. It was we actually went down for another podcast, the Jackmate. Jack, am I allowed to say it? Jack's Happy Hour. We went down for that. And I brought Josh along with me just because I generally just call Josh if I need something to be professionally filmed because I mess stuff up all the time. So I was like, Josh, you want to come with me? And we did a food challenge while we were down there. And you actually did all right.
Mate, I really enjoyed it. I took it deadly serious. I didn't eat the day before, water loaded, the full works. But I did take it. I need to have a good innings,
You did all right. You weren't too far away.
On the topic of the pancake challenge as well, I actually had a quick scroll through the comments because, needless to say, going onto a channel of 1.5 million subscribers, I was apprehensive as to how I would be received because it's only been family members on it on your channel previous. A couple of friends from abroad, but
a couple of eating mates who are going to be used to it already because most of them have channels of their own, and then the rest, family. Like I get Mrs. Beard on. By the way, is my fiance. I get the sister on sometimes, but other than that, not really any other people.
So I'll pick out a few of the top comments. First one was a guy called Tony Watson. If he was involved in the garlic bread, then we love him too. So
fair point.
This is really nice and positive. To be fair, they were all positive. I'm not going to try and lead us down a path. They were all amazing. Josh did really well. It's nice to see a comparison. Good vibes between the lads. Would enjoy seeing his boat race again. That were a guy called Matt Mole.
Yeah, and then, that was your burner account, mate.
Yeah, this for Liam in the corner. Mate, just set up a bunch of accounts, right? Let's just get this. Let's get some in. Marley Smithsonian. Josh is just a cutie. He may get some date requests after this. You guys were great. So
I don't even know what I don't even get date requests, and I'm the star of the channel. Why do you get date requests?
So yeah, Marley, thanks for that one.
You didn't include the one that said? Do you remember the guy that said? He said, "Please be sensitive to me. I have OCD and I don't like change. Do not invite this man back." that's verbatim.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
and I thought, wow, that's interesting. But yeah, that's the only negative one.
That was literally so. There were thousands of comments and everyone was so positive, which were nice to see. I did expect a little bit of shit, as to say, but it didn't. It never came. But that was super fun. Do you want to just give them a quick behind the scenes on the trip back on the train, or should we not? Should we not talk?
My disagreement with the train driver. It's not that funny a story, but this was the long and short of it, right? So being a cheapskate, I got 2 super economy return tickets, right? And we try to figure out what time you could come back until, right, on those tickets. Obviously, you can't come back at 5 p.m. We all know that's rush hour. But I think we were in the train station by something 23 minutes past 3 or something. Got on the first train back to Leeds, and I thought I would be all right. And if we're not all right, my mistake, I'll get some, I'll just pay for the full ticket price, right? I'm not going to cause carnage. It was a business trip, right? It's all deductible. So we're on the train and the guy comes around and you could even tell by the way he was talking to other people, he had a bit of a chip on his shoulder. And I gave him the tickets and he said, it can't run like this. He went, "Not valid for travel on my train, son." And I thought, "Your train?" So I said, "Oh, sorry, bud, I didn't realise that. But can you sell us 2 tickets?" And he said, "What? Did you not hear the tannoy? The guy in the tannoy says it's only this ticket." I'm like, "Look, either you throw me off the train or you sell me a ticket." He said, "What, full price?" I said, "Well, unless you want to give me a discount, mate." And, yeah, you can sell me at full price. But it's quite hard to irritate me. But people that have an inflated sense of importance do.
He was such a job's worth. So like you said, he walked into the sort of train. Was it like a cabin? What would you call it? Like a train?
Well, we didn't go first class. Carriage.
I spent 8 years on a ship, man. It's a cabin. Everything's a cabin. He walked in full of himself. Like you said, "Show your tickets for my train." I was like, oh no. And then he started chipping away at Adam. And
I think the thing is for me is you get people that try and con their way on trains all the time, right? And that's not what I was trying to do. I just thought, I don't really know. We're trying to find out on the website, right, what time you could travel back until. So I thought, look, if you're on the train, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I can't afford to pay," or "I'll pay later." I literally said to the dude instantly, "Sorry, pal. So if I'm using the word pal, you can tell I'm trying to be, I'm trying to make compromise." I said, "Just sell me some tickets." He didn't want to sell me them. So that was
He wanted a fight. He were picking a fight, and last thing we'll say about it, he wanted a fight, right? Because he was so condescending to you, and as soon as we turned round, he pressed the record button on his CCTV camera, didn't he? He thought one of us, not that we're intimidating blokes, especially you, because what are you 3'6"? But I mean, Beard sat there on the train in his booster seat, he ain't gonna be.
I was being very affable as well. I was. After a long and stressful few days, I hate London. Most people know this about me. It's just too hectic.
Yeah.
I thought at first I was very affable, but he did hit a switch pretty quick.
Yeah.
And he tried to suggest, I think, that I keep the economy return ticket for a future trip with my
and I think
missus, as
you did say, "I'm never coming to London again."
I said the chance of me coming back to this fucking shithole, pardon my French, in the next 12 months is 0. So you can keep the ticket. Then do you remember he offered me some hand sanitizer?
Oh yeah, but again, was like peak still in COVID time, and he came and sat next to you, didn't he? He squatted next to us both with his like.
I think he had his nose exposed as well, which annoys me. When people, if you're gonna wear, I'm not gonna get into the whole mask thing.
Have you seen the meme where it's like basically having your boxers on, but with your willy hanging out the top? That's what it's like, isn't it? Wearing a mask just above you under your nose.
There's always stuff like that happens. I don't know. I get into altercations all the time, but
Also needs to be noted that we were severely hungover because you decided that we were going to stay in the bar till what were it, like 1 a.m.
That was late for me. I don't really drink much. But,
I don't.
It cost a fair few quid as well because it's London and like the combination of hotel bar and London means you paid like £9 for
and cocktails. I think I had my body weight in mojitos that night. It were expensive.
Yeah, it was.
And you had to go do the podcast the day after with Jack.
Yeah,
Jack and Stevie.
That was probably a good thing though. That I think
in that sweatbox, their studio. So I've been down to the Jackmate studio twice now because we manage a channel for Ben Pearson, ex-police interceptor. He got invited down first, and then because I'd been down with him, met Jack. Jack then said, you know Beard? I'm like, that I do. He's like, do you reckon he'll come on the podcast? I'm like, nope. He's not the sort of guy to go do a podcast. He's like, do you reckon you could ask him? And I'm like, I can ask.
Usually no. I only said yeah actually because everyone, like every time he puts, they put out, I don't have anything against like Jackmate or whatever.
No.
I just don't like doing podcasts. I don't think I'm that interested in a person to do them.
So he starts his own podcast.
But yeah, my own's a different man. But he every time he tweets something saying who should we get on as a guest, lots of people tag me, right? So because I know people want me to be on it, I thought I kind of had a responsibility to go on, and I thought it'd be a laugh. I didn't realize it was going to be in a sauna.
Yeah, I mean, their studio is ridiculous. Like, it's in a little serviced office building in some area of London.
Yeah.
And they've sort of built like a self-contained studio box within this tiny little office. And because of, obviously, the nature of recording audio, you can't have an air conditioning unit running, a bunch of lights, a bunch of electricity. It is a sweat box. And it was basically middle of summer as well, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. And I very rarely ever sweat. I'm always cold, usually. Generally because I undereat most of the week. But, yeah, I mean, it was hard for me to tolerate that. I came out like I like John Travolta, from Pulp Fiction when he's got his slick back, greasy hair and stuff.
You came out screaming, "I never sweat."
Well, I don't, man. But it was so hot, and I don't know how they tolerate it. I mean, they wrap mine up pretty quickly. Normally, they go if they get an actual, interesting guest on there, somebody who's it's good to listen to. Then they go for like 90 minutes. But I was only in there like 50.
Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know how they tolerate it longer than that.
Yeah, because they do back-to-back podcasts. I think they do like 3 at a time because they only go down once a week, every Thursday, I think it is. So they do like a podcast with a guest, a podcast by themselves, and then like another one as well. Fair play to them, man. They're chiming them out. I wonder what their Spotify deal looks like.
I don't know. I mean, with this setup though, only a matter of time, surely, before we get our own Spotify exclusive.
Got to be weeks, hasn't it?
Okay, yeah, surely.
Well, on the topic of Spotify exclusives and guests and things like that, I have actually made an effort to reach out for some guests.
Oh yeah.
So we have got a couple of confirmed guests. I've actually reached out to Jackmate and Jackmate and Stevie.
Oh yeah.
So they're in the maybe pile at the minute. I was DMing with Stevie back and forth this morning. So
we won't be able to get Stevie on. He's like the.
It's like me.
It's like me. It's like me. The side man.
Who's that other guy again that does a podcast with Beard? Oh yeah, that guy. Yeah, go on, we'll get him on.
Both very nice chaps though.
Lovely. So on the topic of guests, the first one confirmed, as when we spoke recently, Mike Winnett from the Entrepreneur Formula. So I've spoke to Mike and his team, and they've agreed that they will definitely come and join us on the podcast.
Good. I like Mike.
For those little brief, he basically, the con artists that are out like online that are trying to sell dodgy courses and whatnot, he's got an account of nearly 100,000 subscribers. He makes amazing videos. They're so funny and they're really informative to stop people getting scammed. So him and his team make some amazing content. So he's going to come on and we'll talk about his gig with YouTube.
I love Mike's videos, man. I think the good thing about Mike is he's kind of I feel like he's a crusader, right? So people might watch my videos and be like entertained by them for 10 minutes, whatever. Yeah. But the thing with Mike's videos is they're funny, but the whole premise is to stop people getting conned. Yeah. So he's kind of like a bit like a superhero, but like in YouTube form.
He is, and I think I know Mike well. I know Ian, his business partner, really well. They've come under some legal like shots. I mean, naturally, they'll call people out left, right, and centre, whether it's Gary V or that. This is a bunch of them.
Oh man, so many.
But yeah, they're doing bits they're fighting the good fight. I've also emailed yet to get back to me. Rate My Takeaway, who is verified on Twitter.
I'm gonna, I hope it's like can I wrestle it off him? We have like an arm wrestle for the sake of the blue tick. We need to get that sanctioned. A lot of people, that'd be a fun one because a lot of people are always telling me to film,
Do you get a lot of DMs and messages about Rate My Takeaway and the collaboration? Because I mean, you're all in Leeds, so like it's...
Yeah, man, but I think that is essentially, we are the Leeds YouTube scene. I'm not sure what that says about the Leeds YouTube scene, but...
you and Danny?
It's called Danny, right? Yeah. But yeah, I get, well, I mean, not so much these days, but occasionally I get people say, actually a few people tagged me this morning in a video we did, I think, a pizza place in Wakefield, forget the name of it.
Yeah.
But saying, you should do a video together. So maybe we'll do it one day. Maybe you have to get some food when he turns up. But that's a cool one. But he's not confirmed yet though. So you're telling me we've got confirmed guests.
I'm saying who we've reached out to because obviously I know you'll have spent a lot of time and effort in reaching out to people.
Oh, it's so much. Yeah.
So I'm offering up just these options.
No, those are some good. Those would be two great guests, I think.
I think so. And finally, Honor Kagla, he's got the channel called Dies in Every Film's Customs. My friend who makes knives.
Yeah.
But his story. So again, he's got 600,000 subscribers, I think, making like knives, and he's a really funny guy. But his backstory, previously been in the military, done tours of Afghanistan, unbelievable guy to talk to. So I think that'll be a really good one. So I'm excited. He's confirmed it. He's like, yeah, we're good to go.
Cool.
So yeah, mate, they're the potential guests. We've got a list of people there. I've got Mrs. Beard, so she's unconfirmed. I don't know if you've... how do you feel about Mrs. Beard on the podcast?
I know you suggested it, but I thought like it would be hard to control her. And I don't mean like a weird kind of like wife beatery sense. I mean like, like she might say some terrible stuff about me. But that might be part of the entertainment. So yeah, if people want to see that, we could get her on.
I think a lot of people will want that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's practically a bigger influencer than you.
I mean, you're not wrong. Like whenever people see me now, they'll be like, I know they'll be like, oh, yes, Beard. But then they'll be looking around me as if Mrs. Beard's somewhere behind me. She'll be like, oh, where's Lindsay? Is she with you? And I'm like, oh, no, not today,
How many followers has she got on Instagram now?
She has a lot. I think like 40,000, which for somebody who pretty much is just occasionally in my videos is a lot. She's getting too big for her boots though now because she keeps getting like, she'll get, like cosmetic companies saying, oh, can you like give us a shout out and we'll send you some free stuff.
That's class.
Yeah. So she sold out way quicker than I did. But yeah, it'd be cool to have her on.
She's basically going to become like Stacey Solomon of Leeds or Castleford or Bradford, wherever you choose to reside.
Cut that part out. It's Castleford. Yeah, but no, those are some. That I should say when you say finally, there aren't just going to be like 4 episodes.
Oh, no.
We'll hopefully get some more guests as we get a bit more traction.
The plan of action as well, for those that are listening or watching, however you're choosing to consume this, we want to hear from you. So in the show notes or the link below, there will be links to our social media. Tag us on Twitter. Who do you want us to talk to? We're going to try and alternate. So we'll do a week where it's just Adam and I chatting about something, and then we'll have a guest and so on and so forth. But we want to know, what do you want to hear? What do you want to see? We've got a bunch of ideas for future episodes, little gimmicks, little stuff to bring it to life. I'm excited for it. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
So I wanted to then move on my show notes for episode 1, talk about Adam's trip to Canada and shitting himself.
Oh, we going there this early? This is what you're going to get with this podcast. A little bit of the stuff that doesn't necessarily make it into some of my videos that we can chat about. Yeah, the trip to Canada was good. And, I mean, accidents happen, Luckily, Mrs. Beard she packs my case because I'm, I think...
A man-child.
Yeah, you need to have like some kind of... You should be working for NASA if you're packing suitcases like that because... I don't know how she fits it all in, but she luckily packs like if I'm going somewhere for 20 days, she'll pack 26 pairs of underwear, just in case the worst happens. You want me to tell you the full story?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, a backstory. I mean, you obviously you're not bothered. You don't ever get embarrassed from when I've ever known you. But there has been times where I've been literally stood at home with my missus Sunday lunchtime, and I'll get a WhatsApp and it's from Adam. And I shit you not. You would message me on a Sunday, and I'm stood there with Mrs. and you'd put something along the lines of, "I've just shit my pants, so I've had to throw my undies out of the window of the toilet, and I've then had to go collect them on my way out."
That was a different time. So it happens. It's not like I'm doing it every week, but like in my line of work, in case you don't know what I do, I eat lots of food, and sometimes if you push past the envelope, sometimes the worst does happen. But that was a different time. But yeah, I got caught short in a toilet in I forget the name of the restaurant now. And I thought, well, either I'm walking back out into this restaurant, because there was like a little crowd had amassed, right? Which sometimes happens. I thought, I can't walk out with underwear in my hands, right? I'm not putting shitty underwear in my pockets. So what do? I thought, I can't flush them because that's going to wreck their plumbing. So I'm looking for options, trying to problem solve on the fly. And there's a window right above the toilet, like there often is.
Yeah.
So I pop the window. And I look out and I'm thinking, right, there aren't many people around. There's kind of a van blocking the view of this part. So I thought, I'll hoy him out the window, and then it'll be like 2 minutes before we leave. Hopefully nobody will come across these shitty pants. It worked out in the end. We left, said, see you later, picked up the pants on the way out, threw them in a nearby skip. Nobody was the wiser.
I've got this vision of Mrs. Beard at home, like when you were at primary school and you'd have like an iron-in sort of sticker at the back and it says like Adam Moran, aged 36, and they're just these shitty knickers.
I don't want to make out like I'm shitting my pants, 24/7. It's just, it happens occasionally, and I'm happy to confess to it.
So what happened in Canada then? How did you shit yourself in Canada?
Man. Canada was like, I was so close. I almost did, I almost got away with it. But like I did this food challenge, right, which was a big Canadian breakfast, and it's supposed to be about, I don't know, maybe 5-6 pounds. And I had done one the day before, which I normally don't do, but if I'm on a shoot in a location, for example Canada, where I've specifically traveled there to shoot lots of content, I might do 2 in a day if I have to, right? So anyway, I looked at this picture, I'm thinking that's easy enough. I get to the restaurant and I whip the cameras out, which naturally alarms the chef. They'd be thinking, what's going on here, right? And so he starts making it, and he puts some hash browns on the grill, right on the griddle. But not what I think of as hash browns, not like the ones you get from McDonald's.
Like them scattered out like
yeah, kind of like they, I guess they would kind of call them like home fries. So it's kind of onions, potatoes, just mashed up into a loose mix. And I'm like, wow, that's actually quite a lot of hash browns there, right? But it should be all right because there's some big pancakes on it as well, bacon, sausage. I'm like, that should be all right. So he plates it up, and then I'm taking some shots of something else, getting some B-roll, some nice fancy B-roll. And I come back, and there's 2 more equal-sized portions of hash browns on the grill, and I'm thinking, well, that must be somebody else's order, and maybe they've just ordered a large portion of hash browns or whatever. Nah, he puts those on as well, so there must be about 5 pounds of hash browns on this plate alone, right, without all the other stuff on top. It lands on my plate, on my table, and I'm thinking, oh God, this is going to be a hard one, right? Sometimes you just want to, it's not always about me, trying to eat till I pop.
It's just entertainment.
It's supposed to be entertainment, right? So a lot of the time I'm thinking, right, if I'm going to do a really big one that's going to be hard, I'll do a bit of prep, in the morning. I'll do a few little stretches and stuff. This I've not prepared for, and I've done something pretty heavy the day before. Anyway, long story short, I just about finished it, but it was hard work, right? At the end, I'm like, oh, I need to stand up here, which you normally do, loosen things up a little. So I stand up, and I just kind of felt this sensation of something dropping in my stomach, like kind of a gurgling sound, and I'm like, oh wow, I need to poop, Yep. But in Canada, North America, it's not uncommon for them to lock the bathrooms, right, in restaurants. I suppose to stop like smackheads using them or whatever. But I didn't know that at first. I knew where the toilet was, so I went to go use the toilet, leaving all my camera gear behind, which is kind of risky in itself. I'm trying the door doesn't open, so I come back and I'm like, oh, it must require a key. The chef's gone, the waitress is gone, nobody's around. So if you look at the CCTV footage from that restaurant, it must be hilarious because I'm just like kind of dancing on the spot like this, like Finch from American Pie. And eventually she comes back. I'm like, I need to get in the toilet. And she's like, oh yeah, just take the key, honey. And I'm like, okay. So I take the key. Then I couldn't get the key to work right in the door. My dexterity wasn't what it should be, and I'm like rushing. Like with every second that goes by, I'm getting closer and closer to it. Right. So in the end, I finally get in. I'm almost there. Right. The Holy Grail is there in front of me. So I run in and I turn, and I actually took my bag. But in the time it took for me to get the key, I'd put my 2 most expensive cameras in my camera bag. I thought, if the other one gets nicked, fine, all right. But I'm taking these 2 with me. So I throw my bag into the corner of the cubicle, and I turned to lock the door. And as I turned, I don't know what I did, but intra-abdominal pressure increased, and I just went. so close, man. I'm almost there. The toilet's right there. And then, yeah, sure. I won't get into too much detail. I don't want to gross people out, but it wasn't the worst, colonic debacle of my life. But yeah, certainly the pants. Luckily, they had a bin next to the toilet though, so I didn't need to throw it anywhere. Pants went in the bin.
That's an incredible story. Like,
Yeah.
it's so funny because imagine how many people, and there must be in your comment sections of whatever video you do, whether it's a quantity, spice. I imagine a spice one. They'll want like can we have a behind the scenes of what it's like the morning after? How often do you get that question?
Yeah, a lot actually, because people, especially these days, because my videos have actually over the years gotten quite significantly shorter. That's like an intentional thing because I want them to be pacey, dynamic and like all killer, no filler. I hate videos that go on for 25 minutes for no reason just so you can spam them full of ads.
There was some 41 album on it.
Yeah, it was a great album. Yeah, it's so, but because of that, the people that have been around the ages, they're like, oh, I really missed when they were longer and they had like a bunch of shit in them, not that kind of shit. But yeah, so a lot of people want to see what happens after. And normally it's boring, more often than not. But I'm not, in addition to that, I'm not going to take the camera in. I wasn't worried about taking the camera and vlogging myself shit in my pants, although I'm sure it would have been humorous. But yeah, people ask me to do behind the scenes stuff all the time. But
you get that on your OnlyFans, mate. When times start getting hard, if you have a rough year next year, that's what's covered.
Yeah. I've been asked to do some weird stuff like that could probably be on OnlyFans over the years. Did I ever tell you about the time somebody asked me if I could eat a bunch of baby food topless? I thought, wrong channel, dude. No. And yeah, it was a guy that asked me to eat a bunch of baby food. The baby food thing, I would probably enjoy because it's just mushed up stuff, right? But like topless, no, nobody wants to see that.
It's funny though, if you actually type in Beard Meats Food on Google, one of the first pictures comes up is like you absolutely shredded.
Yeah, there's one where I look kind of shredded. There's another one where a newspaper did a thing on me and they paid me like 200 quid or something, really not much money. Yeah. But then the photographer got there, he said, can you take your shirt off? And I was like, what? He's like, oh yeah, they want to get a picture of you. I'm like, oh God, what? Yeah, all right. I mean,
I'm in good nick, yeah.
But no, at this point, I was a bit, I was a bit doughy. So there's like two or three down, like it's. But yeah, I think the best one's like the second one. But that's like the one picture. I don't do gym selfies, right? So that's like the one picture. There's maybe two or three that you'll find if you type me into Google. But yeah, it's good that one comes up near the top.
Looking shredded, mate. All right, so what else did you get up to in your travels to Canada? That's somewhere I've never actually been. I really want to go.
It's beautiful, Canada. It's a really, really nice place. I kind of feel like it's an approximation of kind of England and North America in a weird way, because it's kind of halfway between.
Yeah.
But yeah, I shot lots of videos. I think I did like eight episodes, which I'm never really like. I don't really get self pride, when people say I'm really proud of this. But I came back really satisfied with what I'd done because I make the best content when I'm most excited about what I'm doing, you know. And sometimes if you film it, especially over the past 2 years, when you're doing things that are contrived, because you want to make content for people that like watching your videos, of course. Yeah. But if you're doing something and you're not really fully committed, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going to eat a bunch of McDonald's today or whatever. You might know people are going to like it, but I'm more excited if I think, right, I'm going out to Canada, for, change the scenery, go to all these mad restaurants where they do all these wacky food challenges. That's going to be more fun. And because of that, it improves the quality of my content. And I put more effort, not that I don't put a requisite level of effort into normal videos, but I put more effort in. And I came out with probably the 8 of the, I don't want to say the best, but 8 of the best videos I've done, I think. Especially like in the middle, there are like 2 or 3, I did one called Canada's Biggest Slice of Pizza, which is just as it sounds, a huge slice of pizza.
You should have a thumbnail for that.
And the funny thing about that was I took the thumbnail, and when I looked at the thumbnail first, when I was importing the footage after I'd shot it and everything, I thought this needs to be a great video because a lot of people are going to want to watch it by the thumbnail. And I don't know that I could ever make a better video in my life than that. It's so the pace of it's so good, like the music, because a lot of people don't, I think, realize. We don't want to get too deep into the realities of YouTube, but a lot of people that won't know that, for example, that it took me about 90 minutes to find the right track that I wanted to use for the right vibe, and it's like a marching band track, and it gives it this kind of like quirky energy. And then there's a drone shot on the,
It's funny you say that because we were talking, Mike and I were talking about your videos of the week, and I know you get stressed from time to time about, which is, I think it's actually a good thing because you still care so much, like if not more probably. You're 1.5 million subscribers in, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views per video, and you're still so passionate about it. But we were talking about the full day of weird eating, the UK's like
the rarest,
rarest, that were a work of art, that video.
Oh, thanks, man.
Like, so
I'll give you the money.
Just as an example, right? I mean, obviously, I probably didn't really brush over that. Like, I'm a filmmaker by trade. That's we make corporate videos, YouTube videos. We manage a few channels. Like, that's what we do. what I enjoyed the most, or do enjoy, is like the little things. So the sound effects. You were flying a drone, amazing track. It drops to you and Mrs. Beard in the car. And as the music drops, it's almost like the fat EQ, like dip, where it's effortless. So you wouldn't notice that. Those that are watching it would go, right, that's what it should do.
Yeah.
But for the track to go from like playing out loud to almost being like dull and humming in the background as though it's being played through the car speakers.
Yeah.
Takes a lot of like finessing and work and to make that transition. And it was like, it were perfect.
Oh, thanks, man.
And I was like, that is incredible. Like I listened to that and watched it, and I said it to Mike. I'm like, you're at top of your game at the minute. Definitely.
Oh, thank you. Give myself a little pat on the back. But those are the intricacies of it, which people don't. We'll probably do a full episode on that at some point, because I imagine a lot of people will be interested. But yeah, I mean, the trip to Canada, there's a lot of, you can see me kind of almost warming up, because the first video is cool. It's a bit more kind of, it's a short video, but it's kind of got vloggy elements of getting on the plane and stuff. And the food challenge itself isn't that hard, but it's quirky, and I kind of warm up to it. And then I think the best episodes are probably the ones in the middle, where I've kind of hit speed,
stride,
and I know what I kind of want to do with it. And yeah, because a lot of people still think it's just I'm taking my iPhone somewhere and pressing go.
I mean, if anyone follows me on Twitter, my bio on Twitter literally says, I only use this to take the piss out of Beard Meats Food. And that's all I use it for. You're the only person that I know on Twitter, really, and I only ever tweet you. And the amount of times, recently, like yesterday, I think I replied to one where people were like, oh, you could film that on your iPhone. And I'm like, yeah, damn right, he could film it on his iPhone, the shit house. How can we make this even worse?
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't understand the effort that goes into it.
No. I mean, I'm not going to say that I get everything. I'm not like you. Like, we should have really done like a little quick bio on each of us at the beginning. But yeah, Josh has a video production company and does really professional stuff. There's a certain degree to which if you create content on YouTube, you can get away with not being perfect.
Yeah.
But I like to try and make it as perfect as possible as a one-man band, which is in itself difficult.
Yeah, I think people won't understand that either. Like, it is literally you, 3 cameras, 3 mics, setting it up, thumbnails. I've shot a bunch of behind the scenes. I mean, we did the Barberjacks video together where you did the barbecue pit tray challenge. I shot behind the scenes that's what my channel's more about. It's like vlogging behind the scenes, show you, behind the curtain what actually goes on. And that's what I'm interested in. I know there's a big audience of people out there that like to see that. So to see you getting your thumbnails, setting it up, getting the angles right, and then having to go through the process of obviously introducing a video, mate, a lot of work there.
Is that I hate that part though as well, because it's probably the only time when I'm making, especially when I'm making content, when people will probably be surprised by my demeanor and stuff, because I'm generally pretty happy-go-lucky, horizontal most of the time. That's what my dad used to call me. Like, I don't let things bother me that much. But when I'm shooting a video, as soon as I start eating, I'm happy, because I know everything's. Yeah, you go. I can't change anything then, right? But when I'm trying to get things set, in fact, there was a time I filmed a video in Wales. At a place called Meg's Grill and Chill, and the video did really well. I think it's got like 2 million views, and it only went up like a month or slightly more ago. Yeah, but I didn't realize that the owner of it started live streaming, which I would never say don't. I generally say, well, I prefer it if you didn't, because then people are going to know the outcome, and I'm going to make what's going to be a really nice produced video. But she started filming. I didn't say like stop or anything, but I didn't realize she had got me setting up right. So I'm like, and I look, I didn't mean to, but like I've got a bit of resting bitch face, right? I look grumpy as fuck, and I'm sat and I'm like, fucking, I haven't got the sort of swear, but I'm like, this is overexposed, that's underexposed, the colours don't match and stuff. And most people aren't even going to care. No. Truth be told, they just want to see it. In the end, it was overexposed footage. I managed to save it in post, luckily, but it still doesn't look great. But yeah, that's when it's worked for me, Yeah. And then when I'm eating, I can't do anything about it. So happy or lucky then.
Yeah, I think if I were in your position, I'd definitely have a crew, or at least one extra hand that knows how to handle a camera to be able to.
That's why I can't use Mrs. Beard. Yeah, she shoots like she's on a washing machine, like this. I don't even know how she does it, but she does do. She's all right with thumbnails from time to time, and she'll get. So I think sometimes it's kind of funny that she's just shaking around all over the place.
She can snap some bangers when she wants to.
Yeah, sometimes.
Any final stories from Canada, or is that we're going to leave it for the viewers on YouTube? Have you got any more tales of the trip? I've got one last question. Sorry. Go on. When you was getting off the plane or on the plane, did you go full Casey Neistat and vlog it?
I didn't have it up. Like you can get a lot out of shooting while not pointing it at somebody, right?
Yeah.
So you pointing at the floor, nobody's going to stress out, especially on a plane. especially when you've got a beard and people are suspicious of you anyway, because the way you just look a bit odd. So I did vlog, and actually the opening segment, I get on the plane, leaving Heathrow to go there, and a woman, one of the air hostesses says, "Oh my God, I know you!" So I flash it up like on text on the screen. So that was nice. She was really nice. You know, her and her husband, I think, watch. So I said I'd send them some t-shirts, which, you know,
that's
the
nice.
least I could do.
How much did you get recognised in Canada? Because, I mean, when we were in London, you got, no joke, we were in London, you must have got stopped 2, 3, 4, 5 times on the street. People were beeping the horns. Oh, it's Beard. Wow,
That's
just
just London.
good.
That's just London. That guy was funny. He shouted, "Let's get it out."
As if that must be mental.
That's a funny story, actually, from not a funny story, but one of the... I felt it was like a really trippy experience because I got out of the car at this. This is a quick story. I'm not going to bore you. I was shooting at this place called Canadian Brew House, right, which is in a place called Oshawa, but it's basically in what we would call like a shopping park. You know, a bit like Crown Point we have in Leeds or whatever. You know, just a bunch of, you got like shops, Argos, whatever, and then you got like your Frankie Benny's pizza if people want a bite to eat. So this was like a sports bar, really big place. But anyway, I travel out there in the Toyota fucking Spark or whatever I'm driving, some awful car, and I get out and I'm vlogging it, like you say, on the Canon, and I'm crossing the street and I heard somebody just go, "No way!" So at first I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was connected to me, so I keep walking a few more paces. Then the car, I see where it's coming from, stops basically in the middle of like a junction, right? And he's like, "No way, man!" So I turn and I zoom the camera in, and I said, Do you watch the channel? He's like, "Of course I watch the channel, man." He's like, "Yeah, I love you, man. Yeah, it's so great." And I'm like, this is... And actually afterwards, after I walk off, after, you know, I've said hello, thanks for watching and whatnot, I start driving your car because there's a queue of traffic behind you. I say to the camera, I'm like, it's never normal for me, especially in a different country, for somebody to be like, you know, I've come 3,500 miles and some guy that in a car park just says, "Oh, you know, I love your videos." But that's when you... to be kind of corny, that's when it kind of hits you there a bit and you think, right, I'm doing something right, you know. So there's people that are entertained by it. But yeah, that was... But most of the restaurants didn't recognize me. Maybe one.
That must be nice.
Breakfast place, when they piled it on, made it twice as big as it should have been.
Man, that is epic. Like, you've done a good job. Look at the plaque.
Yeah.
1 million. You need to get that diamond one now. 10 million.
I don't think we'll ever get there.
That
But
train's coming.
I'll try.
Well, let's end it on a high. It's been fun. We've got the first one under his belt. For those that are listening or watching, if you want to follow us on social media, we are yet to establish a social media handle. So
I thought you would have covered that by now.
It will be in the show notes, the relevant places. You can follow myself at the Josh Gudgeon across Instagram and Twitter, so that I've got somebody else to talk to rather than just you.
Yeah.
And Beard Meats Food everywhere.
Yeah, I'm omniscient. You can find me everywhere.
All right, catch you on the next one. Cheers.